called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me.
Oh.
My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
you are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Nah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. Or I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so I can come over.
Come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. The morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, NBC Sports Radio Station, KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, GeoSun. Not bad for a Monday morning. And everywhere. That's someone gave me that byline sometime ago, Dr. Marcia. She's everywhere. But I am so delighted to be here with you. I'm also streaming live, a new edition this last year, where I'm on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and of course, Show Central on my YouTube channel. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, no K words, no Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests to that end. If you've missed any of my 973 shows, please do go to my YouTube channel that houses them. Free subscribe, and then you can enjoy not only those shows. Let's see, we've had quite a bit of hopeful talk on healing from cancer research doctors. Last Friday, we had a great show with my special series, Tempting Conversations, with Alon Carter and Maya Ito, both of whom have had breast cancer. And that is going to be somewhat the topic today. One of the things that we're going to talk about is some of the challenges that the beautiful Ferren, I believe is her given name, and then CoCo Lee, that you may have heard has gone to the other side. And I wanted to spend today talking not just about the way that she went, but focus more, in fact, on her life and what she was able to contribute. Because I think some of the time when things like this happen, when tragedy strikes, we have a tendency to, oh my God, what happened? And how could this happen? And how could she do that? And all of those things that, are maybe not that helpful as a point of conjecture. Certainly it is to validate life and the importance and the value of life. And certainly if you're a person who is not feeling like life is worth living, this is also going to be a show for you, as I give you some Happy 88 tools on how to manage some of your own mental health, not to take place of finding help at all. But I do believe, it's my BS belief system, that sometimes we are not weight training our own minds in order to be able to see pain in life as not mandatory. It is mandatory, but suffering is optional. So we're going to do a little bit of that. So it's going to be a pretty touchy show today. I am doing this. Normally I do life balance coaching on Monday. I've had several people reach out and ask me to talk about death, to talk about suicide, to talk about mental health. And again, the qualification is my PhD is not in clinical psychology. That was the direction I was going. It is in organizational psychology. So this is opinion and also experience. I do happiness coaching, and I'm hoping that some of the tools that I talk about will help you in all kinds of ways, whether you just lost someone. I know I just got word that a person I just saw her, she died in her sleep. And so we're going to talk about the preciousness of life, and also what Allison has brought to my life, which is
all the things that, we don't talk about when people pass. Sometimes we focus on the tragedy or what's wrong instead of the blessings that we've gotten from that person. So that's the focus of today's show. But before we get more into that, I'm all about gratitude as being one of the foundational tools to a happy life. I'm on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And so for the last year, I believe, we've been starting with taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. It is the way I like to start every day. 8 specific things that you are grateful for this weekend. If you're tuning in, I see eyeballs rolling in. If you would go to your comment section and share with me things that you're grateful for that are outside of yourself, people, places, and things. And then we go to the bottom of the bun, which is, what do I like about myself? Because when I approve of myself, I'm less likely to walk around life with antenna looking for people to like me, literally, with the likes these days, instead affirming who you are and the one of kind wonderful that you are. All right, so first thing, I am grateful for an amazing weekend. I got to do not one, but 2 fabulous favorite things that I like to do in life is play mahjong. It's my game of choice. It's from my Chinese roots, and I'm grateful that I got to play. I'm grateful that I won in one of the circumstances, Hong Kong style. I actually won. I don't know if, is gambling legal? Anyways, I won more than I put. I mean, we're talking $20 buy-in, so we're not talking like $1,000. So it's just for, I can be happy just betting $1, the competitive side of me. So I won there. I only lost $4 in the Taiwan style. And I got to spend a whole day at my Asian brother John Shin's talking about financial literacy and how to make your money work for you and how great it is to be wealthy and wise. We're going to do another one in August, so stay tuned if you want to get involved in talking about how to make your money work for you. It's my newest area of full service happiness, and I do believe that happiness is tied into our ability to produce and generate money energy, and not just sitting under a Bodhi tree visualizing things to happen, but getting inspired thought on how to do that. 5, I am grateful that I get to go and have some more learning and fun in Vegas. Actually, I'll be broadcasting live, and I'm grateful that I have a virtual studio that I can broadcast from anywhere. You know that I broadcast from Toronto once a quarter when I go visit my mom there. I'm grateful that Paulie is my sound engineer, and he can work the buttons when I can't get to them when we're doing live remote. And finally, I am grateful for the sound of the ocean that I get to hear on a daily basis when I'm here by the beach. So that's my top 8 gratitudes. We go to the bottom of the bun. I like that I have the ability to like Energizer Bunny. I was talking to my bonus sister, and apparently they were saying that I have more energy than the 4 of my bonus sisters combined, which I thought was a wonderful compliment, although they're exhausted on my behalf. But I do juice my life. I appreciate that I have the ability to, I really want to live every single moment to the fullest. I appreciate that I am smart and I can figure things out that I may not know or have been trained in. 4, I appreciate my ability to hustle and, do what is necessary at the moment, even when I don't feel like it. 5, I appreciate that I love to laugh. It's my favorite sound in the world. 6, I appreciate my ability to make other people laugh. And 7, I appreciate my ability to connect with people and attract super cool people into my life. And finally, 8, I appreciate my ability to gab, which certainly helps me with 584 consecutive weeks on the air. And that is it for taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich this morning, this Monday morning. Monday, instead of rainy days and Mondays always get me up. Hashtag UP unlimited possibilities. And that's what we are going for today. Thanks for joining me for breakfast. All right. So let's get to the topic and her name. For those of you who haven't heard, I was down in the gym this morning, and there are people who don't listen to the news, which is actually a good thing. I was alerted to this by my guest on Friday, who is very hooked into the Chinese scene. And CoCo Lee is a beautiful woman who gave a lot to the music and to the acting industry. She's the voice of Mulan from Disney's beautiful Asian movie and show. I just ran out of batteries here. Grateful for batteries that are accessible. And I'm going to just pull up. I went to do some research on her life, and she did commit suicide, which is something that we, and I'm going to, Wikipedia to me, some of you don't like Wikipedia, but when it comes to balanced news, and certainly, they do research, so it's not necessarily completely unbiased. There's no such thing as unbiased news, but I wanted to give some of the facts around her and her life. She was born in Hong Kong. She's Chinese. I'm Chinese. I feel, I'm not speaking on behalf of all Chinese people. I certainly celebrated during the Oscars. I think we talked about the role of people like Michelle Yeoh, who are wonderful representations in, becoming a role model. CoCo Lee was a role model to young Asian women, and she took that role very seriously. We're going to look at her final post on Instagram, but more so, I wanted to use the tool from my book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are, which is not, I'm not a psychologist telling you how to be happy. I'm one of the 7 out of 10 people who've had childhood trauma that can lead to depression. It's a very common thing, and it makes sense when you were in a place where you don't feel worthy. And one of the reasons why the next step for this is to be translated in China, because I believe that our culture, the Chinese culture, is not necessarily very valuing of psychology. And this is kind of sad to say, but I had a cousin who literally didn't want me to talk to his daughter because she wanted to go into psychology. And it was not until probably the last 10 years, maybe 20, when China itself recognized the importance of mental health, when there was this incident of, a mass suicide of farmers, I believe, who had been relocated. And it was a wake-up call for the country to look at mental health. And certainly that is one of the themes that I want to cover today. And when people commit suicide, like CoCo Lee, if you begin to wonder why people would do that. So let's just start with that. Let me share. Let's see. going to share. Actually, let's start with who CoCo Lee is and her accomplishments. This is part of Remembering Them Whole, is the Happy 88 tool from the book. So instead of focusing on the suicide first, I want to focus on her and what contributions and what a beautiful role model she was in terms of her accomplishments and achievements in her music, her songwriting, her acting, and all of that. So she was born in 1975. She died at 48. She's a Hong Kong musician, actress, dancer, and singer. I didn't know that she was a dancer as well. Her career began in Hong Kong, later expanded to Taiwan and internationally. She's released 18 studio albums, 2 live albums, and 5 compilation albums, including her first English language album, Just No Other Way. Her single, Do You Want My Love, received international attention. She was in the Australia Singles Chart, the US Billboard Dance Club Play Chart, and she performed Love Before Time from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, one of my favorite movies of all time, at the 73rd Academy Awards, becoming the first Chinese American to perform at the Academy Awards. And she was also the first Chinese ambassador for Chanel. And, you know, Michelle very aptly recognized her for those things, and I wanted to start, you know, her introducing her with those things instead of the suicide, because I want to remember her whole. I want to recognize all that she did in her lifetime, no matter, you know, if it was short, how she left, all of those things. I think that remembering people whole is a way to balance out sometimes all of the rhetoric and the, you know, the conjecture and the why would she do that and the how could she do that, which it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't honor the life, you know, that she had for those first 48 years, and certainly in her career. She began, let's see, she's the daughter of a Hong Kong mother and Indonesian Chinese father. So I knew that there was some, I love Hapa. Obviously my kids are Hapa because I married a Caucasian, and she has a little bit of that mixed look. And so now I understand Indonesian, Chinese father. She had 2 elder sisters, Nancy, a Hong Kong actress who later became her manager, and Carol. Her father died before she was born. She was 9 when her mother brought her and her sisters to live in San Francisco. She attended Presidio Middle School and Raoul Wallenberg Traditional High School. She was offered a recording contract in Hong Kong after graduating, and she juggled her career there with her studies at UC Irvine. Oh, I didn't know that. My daughter actually was accepted there too. Eventually left to concentrate on her pop career. So she began with Sony Music, and let's see, she was in the Miss Hong Kong pageant, which was kind of cool. There she was in the Talent Singing Awards, first runner-up, and she sang Run to You. The following day, Capitol Artists offered her a recording contract, and her voice is truly magnificent. I don't know. Let's see if we can play a little clip just so you can hear and acknowledge too the just the strength of her voice is truly amazing. CoCo Lee. Let's see which one. Let's see her at the Oscars. I'll probably get a copyright hit on this, but she's really, let's see. Let's do one. Actually, let's do one in Chinese, because I do love skip this. And that's just a little bit from the movie, which is one of my favorite all-time movies. If you haven't seen it, please do watch it. And then let's see if I can get one of her. Let's see. This is always real-time stuff. Forward.
Fades away, but you stay. And when the cycle starts anew, we'll stay always. The love that we have shared before time. If the years take away every memory that I had, I would still know the way that would lead me back to your side. The road star may die, but the light I see in your eyes burn always by the love we had shared before time. Just the love that we have made.
All right. That, God, her voice. I was getting sad. Yes, it's normal when you hear of people who took their own life. It's shocking, it's sad, perplexing, confusing. How could someone do that? And I have to, I'll be the first to admit that I had a very harsh attitude towards suicide for the first part of my life. Let's just, like I like to put the moose on the table, the range of people's attitudes when it comes to suicide, on the extreme side, which is usually that comes out of the religious. It's a sin. You're not going to go to heaven if you commit suicide. You're a bad person. You're going to spend perpetuity. It's just wrong. From that religious judgment side. There's another equally damning judgment side where I've heard that expression, suicide is the most selfish thing that a person can do. You hurt people that you love. You haunt them with what was done. This was the revenge that you wanted to take. And I didn't necessarily believe that, but I did I would say, yeah, it's the most selfish thing that a person can do. Now, through a lot of self-work and also experiences with people who have committed suicide, in my not directly in my coaching practice, but certainly being aware of colleagues. I have friends who've committed suicide. I was talking with my bonus mom and dad, they've known, I don't know anybody who has not been touched by someone committing suicide. When I was, raising my kids in Seal Beach. There was a stay-at-home dad who also, hung himself in the garage, and that whole experience, being of service to that family. So I know suicide. I've been, touched by it. And my belief watching people suffer because of the suicide led me to that BS belief system. Suicide is the most selfish thing someone can do. Now, decades later, I've shifted, and I no longer believe that because a couple of reasons. One, I don't care who you are, unless you are that person, you do not know people's pain. You just don't know. You think you know, you think you can experience it. You think that your BS, your belief system is life is precious. Why would you do that? How could you do that with all that you have? I know when Kate Spade took her life, that was or Anthony Bourdain, like, how could that happen? CoCo Lee, she has a beautiful voice. She has a beautiful career. She has, everything going for her, loving family, all the performances, all the accomplishments. How could she be so sad? How could she take her own life? How could she, do that? And so as people grapple with that, the extreme is, I need to know, trying to figure out why that happened. Was this conspiracy? I've already heard people, there's conspiracy. It was China doing this, or it was her estranged husband, or, and it's like any tragedy. It's yes, it's important to acknowledge what's happened, but to sit and spend a day and start going to MSU University, making shiitake up to try to understand, not useful. And the truth or the real will come out when it needs to come out. And it is already, finding out that the husband was estranged. A lot of people didn't know that. That doesn't mean anything. It just means that they were estranged. Did her sadness around that contribute? I don't know. We won't know. We don't know what was in her head. We don't know what was in her heart, except that we did know from her sisters that she did seek professional help. She did, she's been battling depression, that she has, I say artistic people or creative people. I'm super sensitive. And, I used to be mad when people said, you're so sensitive. And now I'm not, because sensitivity is tied to creativity. We know she was a magnificent creator. And so did she feel things intensely? Absolutely. That's what creatives do. And that happens. Look at the, percentage of people that you have heard who have died. They were terrific creators. Robin Williams, Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, all of those actors, actresses. It's unfortunate. I'm not saying that there's a if you're creative, you're going to be depressed. That's not what I'm saying at all. But there is some research that ties in your ultra sensitivity with depression. You feel things strongly. So we won't ever know what exactly was her thinking, but we do know that she felt intensely. She was going through breast cancer, which she did not share with everyone, and things that is also coming up now that could have contributed. But again, I want to spend less time trying to figure out why she committed suicide, because we won't really know everything. I do know that her family right now is grieving. I know that it's a loss to the Asian especially Chinese women role model community. And for that, I do want to offer a deep breath that I do when people die before their time, so to speak, or in tragedy. And I'm actually going to do. This has been quite the month. I was like 3 weeks ago, I believe. I was at the bedside of a man who, you know, pretty healthy, and like in 4 or 5 days went from, obviously he was ill, but he didn't go to the doctor and ended up, being on life support. And I got to be there to watch him leave his physical body, even though we think he left his physical body before, but he was on support. And I got to be with his niece and in the room when that happened. And I'd never done that before. So I do want to spend a little time talking about death as well. Difficult topics. People have asked me to speak to that. And so that was Harry and him leaving. And then, heard about CoCo Lee 3 days ago. And then last night I heard that a friend of mine, Allison, died in her sleep Saturday. And that was a shock. And so when you hear of people, whether you know them well or they're in the public eye, or you are connected somehow, I just want you to put your hand on your heart right now. And, it is normal to feel sad. So I think that it's important to recognize that. It's important to know that tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. It's important to know that to push down feelings of sadness is not necessarily the most healthy thing to do, because sadness gets infected. For me, sadness internalized will lead to some form of depression. If we don't feel our sadness and process it through, then it gets infected. And when it gets infected, we can go down into that, I call it that black hole that everybody has in front of us. And you feel like if you go down there, you're going to break into a million pieces and never be put back together again like Humpty Dumpty. But the truth is there is a bottom, and you will make it through that feeling of sadness. And that's why in my book, 8 Ways to Happiness, I go through this exercise. So I thought we would do that today for anyone who's feeling sad, and justifiably so, over the passing of Allison, or the passing of Harry, or the passing of CoCo Lee, or the passing of someone close to you. Let's just sit for a minute and feel that sadness, not talk, not talk it away, not bury it, not say, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Big girls don't cry, big boys don't cry. That's bullshit hockey. I try to cry every week, because sadness is a normal human emotion that is, it's healing. It's healing to feel that feeling. So, I'm just going to close my eyes right now and invite you to do so as well. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, hand on your heart, feet on the ground. You can have your other hand up to receive, and take a deep breath in through that nose. And releasing soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees, connecting your breath with your body. Another deep breath in. And releasing all the stories and the drama, the thoughts around all of this. Connecting your mind with your breath. And finally, a deep breath in. connecting chi, eternal energy, the breath of life, no beginning, no end. That is our life, that breath of life, and just connecting you and I through the breath. Notice as I take a breath, I take nothing from you. And it's in this space of breath and chi energy. Chi is Mandarin for eternal energy. It is in this breath, and you can just gently open your eyes now, but stay in this place of the breath. Stay in this place of chi life. And I'm sending out, and I feel my fingers tingling now, so I know this is working. I'm connecting with all of you out there. I'm connecting specifically with those who are sad right now at the shock of the passing of Allison, her sister Jennifer. Oh, Allison had this way about her. She's one of a kind, wonderful, and I'm so grateful that I got to spend some time with her. I'll never forget. She and I are fashionistas, and we shared a lot of love for different fancy pants and things like that. I'm remembering Allison Hull, not in her passing only, but all the things that she was able to do. She loved to travel. She helped a lot of people in her life. And for that, I'm grateful. But I am sending peace, comfort, and love to all of those who were touched by Allison and are feeling the loss right now. I'm also sending that same breath. Let's take another one. And releasing the breath of chi, peace, comfort, love to Tracy, Harry's niece, and her beautiful daughters, her husband, all those people at MP who really were touched and helped by Harry. Certainly my bonus dad who had an intimate relationship with him, and my mom, just sending all that love and peace and comfort to the missing as well of Harry. And then finally a deep breath in and releasing peace and comfort and love to the mom and sisters of CoCo Lee. I read their statement, Michelle Yeoh, all those Chinese women who have been touched and saw CoCo Lee as a role model, and maybe right now just kind of reeling from the loss, and my words are to comfort and also to expand your perspective of CoCo, to remember her whole. And even death cannot take away what she accomplished in her life, regardless of how she died. It will not take away. I'm going to go to some of the words that she shared that were absolutely beautiful in her last Instagram post. She was fierce in her attempt to, find the good in everything that she was feeling. All right. This is from People, which is another place where I think is less biased. But here's what she put on her Instagram post. She had two tattoos, love and faith. She was hospitalized on July 2nd after a suicide attempt, spent several days in a coma before her death, her sisters, Carol and Nancy, said. So if you're just tuning in and you're wondering what's going on in the studio, it's a difficult episode in that I'm putting the moose on the table about death and suicide and remembering people whole. And we just went through an exercise of breath and feeling the sadness. Her words here let's see. In her final Instagram post, was just shared in December, she reflected on her incredibly difficult year, writing that she was able to adopt the attitude of a female warrior in order to tackle problems that seemed unbearable at times. "Quote unquote, I am happy to say I'm finally living the real me," said Lee. "It's the best feeling, and I'm grateful every day to be alive, and I get to share my thoughts with you. My dear friends, be you and live you. Remember, there's only one of us in the world, and you are one of a kind." She encouraged people to live a life of good intentions, truth, have faith in what you do, smile, and choose happy. Be a winner, not a victim. And, you know, I'm putting the moose on the table. I've heard people already talking about, then why didn't she live her words? Why didn't she follow? She couldn't find, the strength to keep going. Why didn't she practice what she was teaching? And again, we don't know what it's like to live with that kind of pain. And that's why I have changed my attitude from the judgment and condemnation that I used to, say, it's the most selfish thing you do. How could she do that? To, she must have been in so much incredible pain that I can't understand, and I never will understand. But I want to respect, I don't know if that's the word, but I have to believe that her pain was just so unbearable, and that I know right now she's not in pain. And so, again, I'm not condoning suicide at all, but I'm also not condemning suicide. I do know that there is terrible pain. And if you are in terrible pain, I am not saying go. I want you to get help. I want you to talk to someone. The worst thing about suicide sometimes is people suffer in silence. I know I got to work with a man who he walked in on his father committing suicide and shooting himself in front of him when he was 9 years old. And this is true. And that wasn't the worst part of it. The worst part of it was he was not allowed to talk about it. His family would not let him. He was not allowed to talk about it. And so he suffered in silence. And I got to work with him in a program that was actually out of a university. I'm not going to say, but I worked as a T group trainer for years, and we worked with executives. And this was someone who was extremely effective and extremely successful, but his pushing down and not dealing with that one event that he was not allowed to talk about was eating him from the inside out. And that's what happens with us as human beings. We can shove things down for a long time. So if you are feeling helpless and hopeless because something happened to you, and that's 7 out of 10 of us who've had some kind of childhood trauma, please do talk to someone. Please do. Some people have said to me, I have a best friend that knows everything, and that helps me. And, that works too. You don't have to go and spend 10 years on the couch of a professional. Not saying anything bad about professionals, but there's the most important thing is you are only as sick as your secrets. I love that saying, because it is true that we're human beings. We're not meant to live in isolation. We're not meant to not connect with people. We're not here to not share all parts of us, good and bad. So if you're feeling sadness, please do talk to someone about it. And I'm going to go again, probably get in trouble for this. I am not a big fan of medication that masks the pain so that you don't deal with the pain. I'm not against medication altogether. I do believe that there is such thing as, hormonal imbalance or something physical that can be addressed by medication. But I also believe that many people that begin to feel pain never develop your own muscle on dealing with pain, because you immediately go to the fastest fix, which is to take something to get rid of that pain, or prescription, or illegal or legal drugs, or drinking, or shopping, or gambling, or sex, or any of those things, smoking, that we take to numb out the pain. And so we never develop that discipline of feeling pain and getting through it. You can get through pain no matter how painful that pain is. I am here to tell you, and I have lived through quite a bit of pain if you've read the book. It is possible to feel the feelings of extreme pain from abuse, from neglect, from someone betraying you, someone cheating on you, from death, even death of a child, even death of a parent, even a molestation, whatever it is that's happened to you that you've pushed down. It is possible to feel that pain and still get out the other side and choose happiness. It is possible. I promise it is possible. And that is, my Happy 88 tool is feel the feeling fully. FFF. Feel you can do 4F. Feel that forking feeling fully. You will not fall in that hole forever. You will feel better, but you have to feel the feeling. Losing a pet. We lost a nephew of mine, Dick's Mason, recently, and another breath to my love burrito brother in love, who texted back, my heart's breaking when I asked him how he was doing, and it's a horrible feeling, but he sits with that feeling, and he's so good with his feelings. He's one of the best men I know who knows how to feel his feelings. And I hope you know how to feel your feelings. I know I am feeling the feelings right now of the loss. Harry watching that affect his niece and his family, and my bonus dad watching, the death of Mason affect my bonus sister and brother in love, watching people in my community, one of my communities, just feel the loss of Allison right now, watching people's shock at CoCo Lee's suicide. There's loss, and it's okay. And I'm not going to talk you out of feeling that. I want you to feel that. I want you to feel that sadness and feel it. And when you have felt the tears that are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft, and you can breathe through it, and that release just now for me was good. It's okay. I'm not going to talk myself out of it. I'm not going to say, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm crying. No, I never apologize for crying. I think it's one of the most beautiful expressions in life. And now I can still smile. I can still say, suicide doesn't change what CoCo Lee did in her life. Allison dying in her sleep doesn't change all the amazing things she's been able to do. I can focus on what people have contributed in life versus spend time debating or conjecturing or condemning how they died or what happened and trying to figure that out. To me, it's not useful. It is very useful to talk about what legacy people have left in their life. What legacy do you want to leave? One of the one of the first things that I do every time I hear when tragedy hits, like when someone dies that I wasn't expecting to die, or anything like that, the first thing I do after I feel this is take a breath, and I call or text or email people who I have not talked to in a little while, and reach out. And I don't say, oh my God, did you hear about so and so? That's not the point. The point is I reach out to them and I say, it's been a California minute. I just want to let you know how much I love you and how incredibly grateful I am for blank. So whatever it is that you remember, that you appreciate them having given to you in your life, having them contributed to you, or what they did for you, or how they supported you. You have people like that in your life, boo. There's a lot of them. So I'm hoping your Happy 88 challenge for today is you take the breath, feel the sadness, and then turn around and find someone to reconnect with and tell them how much you love them, how grateful you are. And advanced is, don't even talk about the topic at hand. Don't say, well, you can say, I did hear about CoCo Lee's suicide, and it just reminded me about how precious life is. Or I heard about Allison's passing, and it reminds me about how precious life is. And you just never know when it's your time. And I just wanted to let you know I love you. And I'll finish with my final word on death. I know where my dad is. He lost his fight with lymphoma. And yeah, it's sad. I miss him, but I know where he is. I know he's on the other side. We're all going there. I know where Harry is, and Allison is, and CoCo Lee is, and Michael Maine is, and Destiny, my dog, and Mason. I know where they all are. And everyone who's gone to the other side has come back and said it's a place of peace and love and warmth and joy and singing and all of that. Not one person I know has said that it's fire and all that bull. So celebrate life. Celebrate life now. Celebrate what we're going to, because it is all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. And it's all about choosing happiness. I want you to be happy, even in this time where we talk about death. All right. Thanks for tuning in. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live here in my living room. And now just go have the best day ever. See you tomorrow.